Do you want to ride? June is officially riding month at Rod's Power Sports, Nebraska's largest volume Honda Power Sports dealership. Come in now and take advantage of huge savings and a great inventory selection during Rod's I Want to Ride celebration days all month long. Simply schedule a qualified demo ride on one of their new Honda motorcycles, ATVs, scooters, or side-by-sides, or purchase a new or used vehicle, and you get a free custom I Want to Ride t-shirt. Plus, all month long, they have 10% discounts on all wearables, parts, accessories, and oil change kits when purchased with a new or used Honda. Free refreshments served each Saturday morning in June. Just show up and say, I want to ride, and they'll fix you up with some free stuff and help you pick out that new ride. Come ride with Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln or online at rodspowersports.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda Power Sports vehicles are for riders 16 years and older. Honda recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America. Expanding awareness about the TeamMates program and the ever-growing need for mentors. This is TeamMates Timeout. With TeamMates CEO Des Moines Adams and Marketing and Communications Manager Ashton Otter.
TeamMates Timeout, DeMo and Ash. It's June. It's hot. It's rainy. Don't know how to describe this summer so far, but Ash, you got your shorts on today. You got your guns out.
It's like I'm going golfing today.
Guns out. The sun is out. Austin, you got your hat on, and you're actually wearing Husker stuff today.
Just for you, Demo.
No Duke
Just for
today.
you.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow. Cooper Flagg's getting drafted number 1 overall.
Oh, I forgot the drafts this week.
That's right. And is he going to Dallas?
If he doesn't go to Dallas, they are moving that franchise to Vegas. That's what's happening.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I did hear that the A's is official.
Yes.
They're going to Vegas.
They already started building the stadium.
I'm assuming they're going to have a roof. I mean, the heat.
Oof. I don't know. The last time I was in Vegas, they had already started clearing ground for that.
Wow.
And that was a year ago.
So would you go to a game?
Absolutely.
Like around this time where it's 105 degrees?
I have been to many games. Last year when the Yankees were in Kansas City, it was one of the hottest games I've ever been to. And we had seats right behind home plate.
Yeah.
And it was probably the hottest day at the ballpark. But of course, the Yanks are in town and we had prime seats. So I wasn't about to get up and move.
Vegas. Vegas is the first place where I got a sunburn.
Oh,
Growing up, there was no such thing as getting sunburns and putting
right.
sunscreen on. And so I didn't really know what a lot of people were saying when
Oh,
I got sunburned because, my skin is a little different.
yeah.
But Vegas gave me my first sunburn on the top of my head.
Mm,
So I didn't know what was going on when I came back. Like all I knew was like
you're in pain.
no, no, no. So it wasn't pain. There was like some peeling on the top of my head. I
Oh,
was like, what's going on? Like, why's my head, scraping? And that's when I realized sunburn. So that is my experience with
not
that.
even in Arkansas.
No, because it's humid.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So hot up here, but just picture hot and humid.
ugh.
But today, Ash.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
We want to give people a picture of the process of becoming a mentor. I think people know that there's a need.
Mm-hmm.
We have at least 500 students on the waiting list.
Yep.
As we're kind of somewhat putting together what we're going to focus on next year when it comes to our As I'm Learning campaign, our messaging and everything,
Yes.
which is very interesting, what Ash and I learned on yesterday. But today, we thought we would take you through kind of a glimpse of what it means to be trained to be a mentor.
And I think that's so important for us to talk about today because we always talk about like the process of like how you get signed up. And then we're like, oh, by the way, we check your references, we do a background check, and then, you do a training, but we haven't really dove into what that all entails. So I'm very excited for us to talk about that today.
So shout out to our training and support manager, Angela.
And
Dasto does a great job overseeing all of our training efforts. And when we say training, every single volunteer that becomes a mentor has to go through a new mentor training.
Mhm.
And then I would say every 2 to 3 years, we require them to do a refresher training just to keep people refreshed on our boundaries and our policies. And so we're going to dive right into it.
Let's do it.
And the show, we're really taking everyone through what it's going to feel like, what it looks like, what it sounds like, and what it means to be a mentor, but also what a mentor is not. So for everyone that's listening and watching, by the end of this show, you will be able to understand the core values and mission of TeamMates, abide by TeamMates safety policies, describe the role of a mentor, apply mentoring best practices, and identify people and resources for available ongoing support. This is the game plan. Austin, you always have a lot of football players coming in, talking sports and their philosophy and their predictions and their, all of these things when it comes to so-called predictions, Husker football, what it's going to take for them to be successful. Today, our game plan is what it means to be a mentor. And so Ash and I, over the last, 7, 8 months, we've hammered down the mission.
Right.
And as a reminder, our core values, and Ash, you cannot look. You cannot look.
My brain is on overload. You got to let me
look.
No,
You cannot look. What are our 5 core values, Ash?
Okay. Commitment to students.
Yes.
Integrity.
Yep.
Integrity and trust is 1.
Yep.
Safety.
So you named 3.
I named 3.
You got 2 more.
Inclusion and strengths-based. Strengths-based, to my defense, was recently added, like right before I got here.
Wow. Now I would say you gave yourself some grace because yes, strengths-based was a core value that was added about 2 years ago. But our 5 core values, that is something that really helps teammates and helps people understand how serious and true we are. Like without
and who we are.
Yes, and who we are. Because if you don't stand for something,
right,
you're gonna fall for anything. And that's what makes us school-based. And so, Ash, I know we had a little experience on yesterday when just understanding just words, messaging, and stuff like that. So help everyone understand what it means to be a school-based mentoring program.
School-based. That is something that we at TeamMates pride ourselves on because we are the #1 largest school-based mentoring program in the nation. And then we are the second largest mentoring program in the nation behind Big Brothers and Big Sisters. School-based mentoring for us means that our matches can only meet in the school during the school day, during the school hours. Unlike some other mentoring programs, they are allowed to meet outside of the school and in the community. But if we recall, safety is one of our top core values, not only for the safety of the student, but also for the mentor. So that's why it's so important, with safety being one of our top core values, that meeting in the school during the school day, during the school hours is who we are, school based.
And that's one of the pieces that we train our mentors on, because there are many aspects of mentoring.
Right.
You know, there's community-based mentoring, there's group-based mentoring, there's Big Brothers, Big Sisters mentoring, all great mentoring programs. But what makes Teammates mentoring unique is that we're school-based. And so to be able to train what that means, what that looks like, you are meeting with your teammate at the school during the school day.
Right.
And so as a mentor, Ash, how has that been for you?
I love it, honestly, because it's a nice little break in my day, and I get excited. It's the highlight of my week when I get to go see my mentee. And I like it. We meet at a unique time. That may change now that my mentee's moving on to middle school, so that may change. I try to be respectful of her lunchtime and her recess time, because in my eyes, that's her social time with her friends, and that's very important. So when my mentee was in elementary school, we met during one of her classroom times. It was a class that she was excelling in. So it was okay for once a week for 30 to 45 minutes that she and I could meet. And that was like toward the morning, mid-morning of the day. And it was great because it was like I could get my workday started. And then I was like, oh yes, like I get to go see my mentee now, and then just leave, spend that 30 to 45 minutes with her at the school, playing games, talking, just listening to her. Shooting hoops, that was one of our favorite activities to do. But then it was a nice little break in the day and then hop back into work. But I can definitely speak to our stats of like leaving your mentoring time not only more hopeful, but just in a better mood after your work day or after meeting with your mentee and going back to work.
And, because we're unique, what are some perks to mentoring at the school?
All the resources available at the school. We had full access to the counselor. We had access to the library. There was one fun activity day she was doing in her class, and she's like, "Will you come to my classroom? I want to introduce you to my teacher," which was super cool because that means that was the moment I knew. I'm like, okay, she feels like I'm an important figure in her life, that she wants to introduce me to another important teacher in her life. And having the access to their teachers, and just like if I noticed something that maybe was abnormal in behavior, or maybe something that she brought up that I was like, oh, that's not my normal mentee. So it was great to be able to have those resources at the school. And not only that, but we had the games were right there at the tips of our hands, the books that we had. So the biggest thing in my eyes that I really liked about it being school-based is all the resources you have at your fingertips in the school.
I would say for me, being a mentor, it's nice to not have that pressure of being responsible,
Right.
of transporting a child in my car, just the liability, spending money,
Right.
trying to do something. Many things, like cool things, you take a kid to a park or go shoot hoops or skateboard or whatnot. But just some of the other liability pieces and pros and cons, it would be great to connect with the parent, but then sometimes that adds that extra layer
Right.
of responsibility. Not only are you a mentor, but now you're becoming like a part of the family. And so pros and cons, but I like this model because I know when I go mentor is at a safe environment. I'm not spending money. I don't have to worry about the risk if, something happens to my mentee. So that's one of the things that we train, because we need mentors, not want, but need to understand that when you become a teammate's mentor, your role and responsibility is to meet with your student at the school during a school day. And so I think we do a pretty good job when we do our training.
Absolutely. And again, to your point, shout out to Angie and our outreach team, who are busting their rears right now, making sure those matches are getting made, making sure those background checks and reference calls are going through. But then again, I mean, just look at this. I know Austin camera's still not working, but Angie made this really great training packet to talk about, and just the resources available during these trainings. Like, and I'm sure we'll dive into this later in the show, but when I went through my training, I was like, oh man, like, I mean, it was kind of, not that it was a lot, but it was just, it was good information that our mentors need to know. Again, a lot of hammering home on the safety piece and why we are school based and the importance of safety when we're at the school.
And then that commitment to students, we're asking for those weekly meetings. And so we also emphasize what that time looks like.
Right.
Thinking of messaging, back in the day, we would say the 1 hour makes a difference.
Right.
Now we say once a week, one meeting a week versus 1 hour, because sometimes there has been this, I have to spend 1 hour with a student. But for everyone that's listening, here's what the 1 hour looks like. It takes you maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get to the school.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to spend between 30 to 40 minutes with your teammate. The lunch hour is probably the most popular hour, which is not even an hour.
Right.
It's about 30 to 40 minutes. And then the 10 to 15 minutes that takes you to get back to home or to your workplace. That is the 1 hour out of your 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking out of 38 weeks in a school year, the touchdown is 24 times.
I was just going to bring that up. So I'm glad you talked about that. And then also talk about, ideally, we like a mentor to be paired with a mentee for how long?
At least 3 years. That's based on research studies showing that there's a relationship that's built that leads to trust,
right?
That leads to impact. And at the end of the day, when we say we have served a young person, that is the highest national average when it comes to mentoring. Teammates mentoring. We are there. We're talking 36 months.
Yes.
Versus an average is about maybe 16, 18 months. So good, no, great, no, excellence, that 3 year. That's what data is showing. But ultimately, if you're matched with an elementary student, which that's our need, and that's what we're trying to do by partnering right here in Nebraska with the state, we're closing that gap when it comes to reading literacy. If you're paired up with a elementary student, we want you to stay matched up with them until they are done with high school.
And ideally roll into post-secondary.
Yes. Because right now, one of my mentees is at UNL.
Nice.
He started at a community college. Now he's at UNL. So we've been matched up, paired for over 10 years.
That's incredible.
And so the relationship, which kind of takes me to the second part, because there are many types of mentoring.
Right.
Which one of the types that I think the misperception of just mentoring is to be prescriptive.
Right.
And based on how I see it, prescriptive is the mentor leads, is having a fix it mindset, is having a specific goal set for mentoring time. Relationship is secondary. So when you think of that, isn't that a heavy lift if I was to say, hey, here's a child, here's some curriculum, now fix it?
Right. I mean, the whole role of a mentor is to be another, and Nancy, the co-founder Nancy Osborne, in one of our videos, that was one of the first things that really stuck out to me that she said is, the role of a mentor is just to be another caring, trusting, loving adult in that child's life. You are there. You're not their parent. You're not their guardian. You're not there to parent them. You're there to listen to them and be someone who they can rely on.
Yeah. And that's why our type of mentoring is developmental.
And what does that entail?
The mentee is the one guiding the activities and the time. You as a mentor, you are learning from the mentee. You're listening more than talking, and you focus on developing trust. And how does one develop trust?
Time. Which is why, like, in my eyes, my mentee and I were going on year 3, and I have already told her, like, I will be with you all the way through post-secondary. Like, we're already starting to have those conversations about the importance of furthering her education and talking about the goals and what she wants to be when she grows up. And, those first couple months, it took her a while to really try to figure out like, okay, is she coming back every week? Can I trust that, it takes time to establish that trust, especially with a child at that young of an age. So once you break through that barrier though, like it's just like the relationship grows in leaps and bounds.
And just for those that are listening, anyone that's building a relationship, it takes time, it takes energy. You have to listen.
Right.
You're getting to know one another. And so we emphasize the difference between being developmental and being prescriptive. We are always a developmental mentoring model. And that has served us well because of the relationships, the impact that we've made for the last 34 years. Now, when it comes to who we mentor, Ash, I'm gonna let you cover this because this is a part of our training. And I think it's important for people to understand who we mentor. Who are these kids?
So our specific student, we'll just call it the student who we serve students in grades 3 through 12. And then we also have the post-secondary program, which we've talked about. And we are a mentoring organization for all kids. We firmly believe that any student who wants a mentor deserves a mentor. And in order for that child to participate, there has to be guardian permission in order for this child to partake in TeamMates. The student obviously has to be interested in having to have also the desire to also want that mentor. And then the student is trained about the program as well.
So what I'm hearing is students are not required to be a part of TeamMates.
Correct.
TeamMates is not an at-risk program.
No.
We may have some students that are at risk, but we also have some students that make good grades and they're, doing great things. But yet, as we always hear, everyone can benefit from a positive caring adult.
Yes. And to your point about at-risk kids versus all kids, just look in some of our small communities. That kid, maybe a 3-sport athlete, a 3-activity athlete, they're involved on the football team, basketball team, and in play production, one act. So these kids are heavily involved, not only in their schools, but also their communities. So to have a mentor to help further develop them in all areas of life. And just, again, I always go back to being another caring, trusting, loving adult in their life who, maybe they can talk to that mentor about some things that maybe they don't want to tell mom and dad,
Yeah.
all positive, of course,
Yeah.
but
just thinking of Dr. Lawrence Chatters when he was
Yes.
here, he emphasized what students need the most is someone to listen to them and someone to care for them.
Yes.
Because all day long they have people telling them what to do, but it's nice to have someone to ask the question, how are you doing? And which takes us to the role of a mentor.
Right.
Now, I love this part of training. And this is where training is not just we're talking at you, we're talking with you. It's not a presentation, it's a conversation. And so there is this activity where we talk about what a mentor is and what a mentor is not. So Ash, we're gonna do this was it vertical, up and down?
Yes.
So I'm gonna say a word and then you're gonna say it and we're just gonna keep going. So
Okay.
a mentor is safe,
Good listener,
fun,
positive role model,
willing,
strength spotter,
inspire,
encouraging,
promise keeper,
hope builder,
supportive,
trustworthy,
free,
dependable,
forever friend.
learner.
All of these things are positive, right?
Mhm.
None of these things require a PhD or a bachelor's degree or associate's degree. A lot of these things are just really somewhat sacrificial.
Right.
It's like has nothing to do with you. It has all to do with that other person.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure we need to let people know what a mentor is not because the misperceptions, I think
Yes.
learning from the word mentor can sometimes feel heavy. And
Which we learned yesterday and it was great. And shout out to our friend Elise at KETV because we just had a great collaboration session and seeing research data. And I'm excited. I left that meeting. I could see in your eyes, you're like, oh man, I could see your wheels turning. I'm like, no, this is positive. This is exciting. We need to have the baseline so we know how we have to improve. And it made me excited as I left yesterday.
Well, I appreciate it because just seeing some of the numbers, of course, I'm already thinking these numbers can be better. I'm already thinking in the future, but I appreciate you for saying, hey, I'm optimistic. We got this. So diving into it later this week and just what next year looks like is going to be great. But here's why I think people feel that it's heavy. But I need everyone to hear what a mentor is not. So a mentor is not selfish,
Judgmental,
an expert,
paid,
a social media friend,
Uber or taxi driver,
a gift giver,
problem solver,
parent,
peer friend,
ATM machine,
private investigator,
perfect.
or a therapist.
So I want everyone to sink some of those words in. And again, to learn more about what a mentor is and a mentor is not, head over to teammates.org, complete the application, go through the training, and you will learn that this is not a heavy lift. It's something that is allowing you to lift our young people by being supportive, by being a good listener, by being a strength spotter, not all of these other things. A mentor has nothing to do with you, but all to do with the students. So when you went through training,
I know. I was just going to bring this up.
yeah,
We did this activity, and I was in a group of, there was probably 10, seems kind of anywhere from like 6 to 10 adults, like volunteers wanting to be mentors to go through this training. And that is one of the activities that we did. And it was interesting to see how people's minds work, like what they thought versus like what I thought. And it was a big group activity too. So we were writing stuff on the board, or we may have been putting sticky notes up there too. But it's important to know the role of a mentor, what you are and what you are not. Because like, if we look at what a mentor is not on this list, like it's got a negative connotation.
It does.
And we don't want that.
Yeah.
We want this mentoring time to be fun, safe, not only for that mentee, but also for the mentor.
And then there's nothing about tutoring. There's nothing about, classes. Like, we want you to encourage them, but not tell them what to do.
Yes.
But these are all things that we train thousands of volunteers. And so again, Angie, who trains all of our trainers, we're talking almost 200 people that are responsible for every single adult that comes into this program, that joins this team. They are trained and equipped with all of this. This is kind of perfect with the training, because this is when there is actually a break. Yes, we provide breaks during the training, but we are giving you an inside glimpse of what it means to be a mentor. You are live with DeMo and Ash, Teammates Timeout. We'll be back in 5.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
I want to ride. Do you want to ride? June is officially riding month at Rod's Power Sports, Nebraska's largest volume Honda Power Sports dealership. Come in now and take advantage of huge savings and a great inventory selection during Rod's I Want to Ride celebration days all month long. Simply schedule a qualified demo ride on one of their new Honda motorcycles, ATVs, scooters, or side-by-sides, or purchase a new or used vehicle, and you get a free custom I Want to Ride t-shirt. Plus, all month long, they have 10% discounts on all wearables, parts, accessories, and oil change kits when purchased with a new or used Honda. Free refreshments served each Saturday morning in June. Just show up and say, I want to ride, and they'll fix you up with some free stuff and help you pick out that new ride. Come ride with Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln or online at rodspowersports.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda Power Sports vehicles are for riders 16 years and older. Honda recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-Week Challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We're looking for a forecast for today. Achieving showers and storms throughout the day. Otherwise cloudy with light winds. And the high near 84. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely. Low around 71. And tomorrow, achieving showers and storms throughout the day. Otherwise, probably sunny, breezy, and hot with a high near 94. Meteorologist Powell for 93.7 Ticket. TeamTicketFM.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Hey racing fans, this is Brie Marie inviting you to join me and James Rowland for the Finish Line every Sunday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Catch up with the local dirt track drivers, national racers, and everyone you need to know about in the world of racing. Don't spin your wheels, hit the gas, and join us Sundays at 7 p.m. for the Finish Line on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. as Lincoln Lighthouse's Executive Director Bill Mitchner educates listeners on the history of Lighthouse, their mission, and how you can get involved in shaping today's youth into tomorrow's adults. Every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Captain with Vershawn Jackson, Terrell Farley, and Jake Bakoven.
I'm looking at a mirror. I'm sitting right next to him.
So I was up at the facility earlier today. I had the opportunity to talk to the 2025 Nebraska Cornhuskers. But man, those dudes were locked in. They were asking questions. I saw the intentionality. I saw the focus. I saw the hunger. And when I'm leaving the meeting, before any of those guys got up, they all waited for Dylan Raiola to address them. And he addressed them and gave the tentative schedule of like what they're going to be. This is Friday. They're free. They're done for the week. And they're talking about the things that they got to do. And that gave me chills.
Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're back, Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash, and we are taking everyone through a new mentor training.
Yes.
Not officially,
No.
unofficially.
Thanks to Ange.
Yeah, but we just kind of want to just walk through the process. You know the need, you know the drill, you know where to go, but we want to take everyone just through all of the different components and help people with the anxiety of, can I do this?
Right.
Yes, because we're kind of helping you to understand how we encourage, how we equip the resources. So before the break, we talked about what a mentor is and what a mentor is not, just their role, because I think it's important for everyone to understand their role when you are serving as a teammate's mentor, when you are volunteering your time,
Right.
30, 40 minutes,
Right.
not including the time to get to and from the school.
It's the lunch hour, right?
Yeah.
No excuses.
5, right?
Right.
Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pick one of those days, and there's definitely a need.
Yes.
I think people need to know what they do.
Yes.
And so even in the training, we provide possible match activities. Again, going back to what a mentor is and what a mentor is not, is really about the student. This is student led. And so some of the match activities, playing board games or cards, doing a craft, maybe a physical activity, frisbee, shooting hoops, throwing a football outside. I know that's what I used to do with my mentees.
We shoot hoops and we color. I love to color.
Yeah.
Anytime she's like, I want to color, I'm like, all right. Like,
you can meet in a library and read a book together. You can walk and talk as long as it's in the school or like on school grounds and learn something new. You mentioned a couple of things that you do with your mentee. And like I said, I'm excited to get matched with a younger student and an elementary student
It's
here
fun.
in the fall. And, I'm looking forward to meeting with them in a library. And just, all of
and
the,
why the library?
the library is a great place, I think, just to boost that sense of curiosity. All of those books, we can talk, we can do checkers. And then I would be interested in knowing what they're interested in and then finding a book, and then we can kind of go back and forth and read together. And so strategically, by helping students to read something that they're interested in, that's getting them into that practice mode. And what does that practice do? That practice is what's going to boost their reading literacy.
Right.
And so I'm looking forward to that. But when it comes to activities, every school, they have resources. Every school has a library. We are not just saying, hey, good luck, and you sit down with a student. We give you a game plan. And every school also has a building coordinator. Some chapters call it a building facilitator.
Who these people are rock stars, by the way. I was in almost constant communication with my building coordinator. Just have that open communication line. Again, those building coordinators are there as a resource for you as the mentor. Like I mentioned earlier, if something comes up during a conversation with your mentee that maybe is like abnormal, you can. I know I have that open communication line with that building coordinator, so I can be like, hey, this came up today. Just want to make sure, again, safety. Is the child safe? And then also, again, they're just these rock star folks in the school.
Yeah. All volunteers.
All volunteers.
So shout out to all of our incredible building facilitators, building coordinators, program coordinators that are doing this out of the goodness of your heart. Without you, we could not provide that 5-star customer service to our mentors when they enter into the building. It's all of our relationships. It starts from the top down, a relationship with the superintendent, all the way down to our students. And when it comes to anything that you do with a student, going back to this developmental model versus being prescriptive,
Right.
just building practices. I'm going to start with the developmental.
Okay.
Expressing care, providing support, challenging growth, sharing power, expanding possibilities. This is all based on research. So when we say we are a developmental mentoring program, these are the things that we do. Now, I'm excited for you to share with everyone what it means to be strengths based, which is a part of our core value.
Yes. So strengths based, you celebrate growth, you name your strengths, identify successes, develop those strengths, which ultimately lead to generating hope.
So I'm just curious. We just did our performance review last
We
week.
did.
Now, how would it make you feel if I only focused on your weaknesses, the things that you did wrong and the things that were wrong with you and the things that you couldn't do? What would that do to you?
I would get very pissed off.
Austin, are we allowed to say that on air?
I didn't say a bad word. It's too negative. Like, you need to not call people out. We're calling people up.
Yeah.
And so having a twist to the strengths, as we know, my top 5 fall in the executor strength, which
Mhm.
and it's very heavy executing. So like now as I'm starting to learn more about my strengths, which I'm 2 months away from getting my full 34, so I can see where everything else lies, but it really kind of helps you as the coach figure out like, okay, how I'm wired. And
Yeah.
then me knowing your strengths and how you're wired. And that's one thing that that we talked about, especially because I manage a team. And so it's important for me to know my team strengths because that's going to tell me how I need to show up for my team every day.
Yeah.
And how they take their feedback or communication styles and how different those are all.
And the thousands of mentors, if you're listening, you have access. You can take the Clifton Strengths Finder so that you can know what your top 5 are. You can receive a training, but you receive training on what it means to be strengths based, and it's simply doing the opposite of what would have quote unquote pissed Ashton off, which I did not do because I focused on what was right about her.
Right.
I focused on her strengths. I focus on how she contributes. I focus on what makes her uniquely gifted and talented. So as a mentor, that is your role. That is how you build a relationship. And when you build a relationship as a strengths-based mentor, focusing on what's right with a mentor, being a strength spotter, encouraging them to use their strengths, appreciate and value their differences, but also when you lead with your own strengths, you know, it's kind of like when you set personal goals for yourself,
Right.
you will not find yourself comparing yourself to other people.
Right.
And so Ash, you know, you seem like you're pretty self-driven, self-motivated. Pretty sure that serves you well when you know your own strengths,
Yes.
because at the end of the day, others may have something that you don't have. So, how would that help a young person?
With that relationship with a mentor and knowing what those strengths are, not only does it help that mentor, like we said, lead with your own strengths, guide them, um, to your point of knowing my strengths and how how am I going to word this? Um, Essentially how you want, because again, we don't say the mentor is there you're there to be another adult, you're there to listen, help guide. It's just another way to help this mentor guide the mentee and help develop those strengths, but also at the same time helping teach them how to interact with people who have strengths that may be lower on their Gallup strengths list. But again, at the end of the day, we're a team, and so you need to figure out how to work and collaborate with your team members who have strengths that maybe aren't your top strengths that you can't bring to the top of the table. I'm a high in executing. I can bring all those executing strengths to the table. You're futuristic. Your top strength is futuristic. So you help set forth the vision. And then my discipline is like, okay, one, is this vision happening? How soon is this vision happening? Are we talking 5 years? Or are we talking in the next year? it's in the next year, my brain already goes to, okay, I need to start making a plan of how we're going to get there.
And that's the beauty of training our mentors around this positive psychology.
Right.
Because there's only so much that you can control in a teammate mentor-mentee relationship. What you can control is building a relationship and other parts of this training. We train you on what building trust looks like, what it means to explore diversity, ways that you may differ when it comes to interests and values and goals and life experiences. How we define diversity and inclusion is not how it is defined today in society. Just wanted to throw that out there. And then ultimately, like building identity and belonging, it is all about the students. So we train you on how to work with students because who you were as a student is different than the students that we work today.
Right.
Especially when it comes to building this sense of growth mindset. And one of the things that we talk about is challenges are an opportunity to learn, helping mentees to know, to be open to learning new things, making yes statements. If a mentee says, I'm not good at math, we train mentors to be aware of that and say, no, you're not good at math yet. And just that yet turns that period into a comma.
Right.
I mean, some cool stuff. And the boundaries. And I knew it. I knew it. I'm just waiting for the music.
Laughing at us.
I knew it. Because I didn't want to dive into the boundaries because I knew you was going to play that darn music. But when we get back, the last segment, we just want to talk about the boundaries.
Yes.
Because the boundaries, I think, is how Teammates mentoring has been sustainable for the last 34 years. And I think it is important for those that want to be a mentor to know that it's the boundaries that keep the mentees safe and it keeps you safe. You alive, Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash. We'll be back in 5 in Austin. Give us at least 5 minutes, all right? Give us at least 5 minutes.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through June 24th are $1 off ground beef, 15% off on aprons, 15% off cornhead beer, and buy one, get one 50% off on brats and hot dogs, limit 2. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes a ticket to USC plus Akron or Houston Christian and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. Purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
You've heard the phrase, bigger is better. Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. As applied to family law firms, this phrase can be misleading. Yes, it's true that more resources, proven processes, a wealth of shared experience and expertise, these are all good things. But it's also true that being local has its advantages for a law firm. Familiarity with judges, with local experts, opposing counsel, even the local rules and practices. So if you're a guy confronting a family law matter, you should be thinking right now, I need all the above. I need big and local. In that case, call Cordell & Cordell, a national law firm comprised of local offices with local attorneys who practice in local courts. Remember, for over 35 years, we've been the partner that you can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys. 402-858-3220. CordellCordell.com. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, DeMo and Ash. Teammates Timeout. I'm going to start saying DeMo, Ash, and Austin. Austin,
I know,
killing me, man.
Devo and I were just talking about, you have been with us for 9 months.
I know.
9 months.
Wow.
Right?
9 awesome months.
Yeah.
Yep. And we still got a couple more months to go. And Austin, hopefully, when this is all said and done, you should be a Teammates mentor.
Things are trending that direction.
Okay.
They're trending that direction.
Because, with school right around the corner, like, we need people like you and others to understand that we got your back. And I just want to wrap up this mini training for those, just in case you want to know, like, what it takes and what you go through. Let me just name out a few boundaries that we cover. We talk about the safe environment.
Right.
We've already touched on the fact that we're school-based. We talked about the time. We're talking 1 meeting a week. It's about the quality, not the quantity. We talk about the communication. All communication is at the school, through the school. There's no communication outside of school. There's no texting, no Facebooking, no TikToking, none of that stuff. Gift giving, I love this. Act as an advocate, not an ATM.
Right.
And so your role is not to give money. Your role is not to bring your teammate lunch, is to give the gift of time. We also talk about self-disclosure. We train you that a relationship is about the youth. It's not about you, and maintaining that adult youth relationship. You are not that mentee's buddy. You are their teammate. And so what it means to self-disclose, we go through what to share and what not to share, because you're not the parent.
Right.
Your job is to be that role model. Confidentiality. Any information that mentee may be shared with you, remember, you become that student's person. And then there may be some information that may be shared with you that may put you in a position, and you may feel, what do I do with that information? Well, guess what? We train you on what to do if you are put in that situation where a student may share a harm to self, harm to others, or harm by others, those red flags. We train you to recognize those risks, because you may be the only person that have the ears and the eyes that can be able to report something to that school counselor, because you are that person that listens to them. And then we train you on what to do in those situations. So every single state, there is a number. But the one number that we give you is our Teammates Safety and Ethics Hotline. And so when we talk about training, there is an impact. And then we share all of the amazing numbers that Ash has always shared over these last 9 months when it comes to the 85% of mentees are more hopeful about their future. That is what we are giving our students. And then you are a part of a team. And this is what I love the most, because when you join this team, you join a team that includes that person at that school who we call a building coordinator. There's a program coordinator. Every chapter has a person. We call them a program coordinator. You have school staff that love teammates because we have their back. Then there are other mentors that are also a part of the team. Right here in Lincoln, we have 1,300 other mentors. And in every other chapter, you are not alone. So when you go through this journey, by becoming a mentor, you are still on a journey, because the journey is about being a developmental mentor, but also we are always developing to keep improving what we do, best practices. So that's the glimpse.
You know what, DeMo? I'm glad we did this, because we always talk about, people have reservations. And I hope today what everybody learned helps put those reservations at ease. And it's like, you know what? I am going to do this. I am going to go to teammates.org. I am going to click the button that says become a mentor, because I think we answered a lot of those reservations.
Yeah, through the training. And you can go through the real training just to see if it's for you. And we understand this may not be for everyone. If you want to do something outside of school, if you do want to shoot hoops with a student at the YMCA, that's great. But what makes us great is we know who we are when we do.
Yes.
And we will love you if you want to be a school-based, relationship-based, strengths-based, developmental-based mentor for a young person. 3rd through 12th, also post-secondary. Ash, I gotta let you close. You know the drill.
All right, go to teammates.org, click that button that says become a mentor. Or you know what? If now's not the time to become a mentor, click on that button that says donate now. You are listening to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll see you next week.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and the hail sale has been a huge success, but is winding down. We still though have several units with huge discounts. Plus, we have brand new Sierras, $14,000 off list, or starting at $37,105 or 0.9% APR.